In 1943, America was a segregated society. Many whites argued that it was better for blacks and whites to keep their separate ways. The situation in baseball reflected that of American society. The premier baseball leagues in America had only white players on their teams. Black players played in their own leagues. However, Branch Rickey was determined to put an end to the segregation. He was a highly respected baseball executive and was known as an innovator in the game. And now he had his sights set on his next innovation. He wanted to integrate baseball. Branch's primary motivation for integrating baseball was to help his team win baseball games. However, he also thought that integration was the right thing to do. He knew that if he didn't have exactly the right player for this job, his integration experiment would fail and further delay the integration of baseball. In 1943, Branch put together an extensive secret scouting operation in an attempt to find a black player that had both the talent and personality to break the color barrier successfully. In 1945, Branch found his perfect candidate, Jackie Robinson. Jackie was a multi-sport star athlete in college who was used to the spotlight. He had plenty of experience playing with and against white players in college. He was a well-spoken man who could handle the demands for interviews that would come his way. He was capable of representing not only himself, but his entire race. On October 23, 1945, Jackie signed a minor league contract with the New York Dodgers. This signing brought a lot of attention to the issue of integration. Other teams in Major League Baseball had entertained tryouts from black players when forced to, but this was by far the most serious threat to baseball's color barrier. Now all eyes were on Jackie to see if he could make it to the major leagues. In March of 1946, as a member of the Montreal Royals, a Dodger farm team, Jackie joined the Dodgers in spring training for Florida, which was a segregated state. This is where Jackie started to learn what he was up against. Jackie received a lot of hate mail. Sometimes when the Dodgers showed up to play, they were met by city officials who told them they were not welcome there unless they dropped Jackie from their team. Rickey and the Dodgers did not cave in to the pressure. They continued to keep Jackie on their roster despite having to cancel some games. Jackie kept his composure through all the mistreatment, insults, and segregation that he faced in Florida. The Dodgers remained committed to keep Jackie in their organization, and the pressure to remove him was overcome. He and the Dodgers showed that when Jim Crow laws were challenged in very public ways, there were now enough sympathetic white people to make the challenge worthwhile. This became a strategy for later civil rights advocates. Jackie had a good season playing minor league baseball in Montreal in 1946. He ran into some difficulties in U.S. cities, but was treated well in Canada. Most importantly, he proved that he was good enough to play Major League Baseball. Spring training 1947, there was a lot of buzz about the possibility of Jackie getting promoted to the big leagues. Some southern white Dodger players worried that their friends and neighbors would begrudge them for playing with a black man. A petition was started among Dodger players to keep Jackie off the team. Branch Rickey stepped in and ended up trading away a couple of players so that they would not have to play with a black man. On April 10, 1947, Jackie was promoted to the Dodgers. On April 15th, he played for the Dodgers on opening day in New York and was supported by a majority of his home fans. Blacks were coming out in droves to watch Jackie play. Although they were excited that a black man was getting a chance to play in the major leagues, they were also very nervous because they knew that if Jackie failed, it would reflect poorly on their entire race. Black leaders and black newspapers continued to lobby for black fans to show proper behavior at baseball games. They did not want unruly fan behavior to ruin the chance for this experiment to work. Every black person in America was concerned with how Jackie was doing. His fortune was their fortune. Although some white fans were angry that Jackie was being allowed to play, a growing majority were willing to go with the flow. Baseball's management stood behind Jackie to quell any uprisings that other teams brought against him. The biggest problem after the first month of the season was that Jackie was not playing very well. If he was unable to hold his own in the big leagues, it would be a major setback to the integration effort. Despite having the weight of the world on his shoulders, Jackie eventually did start to perform on the field, proving that he and other blacks belonged in Major League Baseball. At the end of the 1947 season, Jackie earned Rookie of the Year honors. Because of his personality and success on the field, Jackie became a celebrity in America. Robinson created a sort of picture that all societies should be integrated. That's why we could see a shifting and changing in society in the mid-1950s. The success of the experiment put segregation under society's microscope. It forced people to take a different look at race in America. Titus Brown. Jackie's success was a big boost to the civil rights movement. In 1948, President Truman integrated the military. As the civil rights movement grew stronger and stronger, there was more and more pressure to end segregation. In 1954, the Supreme Court made the landmark decision to end segregation in schools. Jackie continued his work in civil rights until his death in 1972.